We are ready. Go for it.
Great. Well, again, welcome to the webinar this afternoon. Thanks for joining us today. I'm not seeing the screen at the moment. Adam, if you wouldn't mind putting that back up. We're just going to take, 25, maybe 30 minutes if there's time for questions thereafter. Great. Just to get through an overview of e-commerce using Shopify Plus, in particular, how it works with B2B and what that looks like. So next, please. The agenda today is going to really brief, go through B2B e-commerce as an overview, and you'll notice inherent differences between that and B2C. We're going to do Shopify Plus overview as to what it is, key features of it, a little bit of the pros and cons, and then kind of put together a best fit, opportunity or a list of items that identify whether this Shopify Plus for your B2B requirements is a good fit. And like I said, if there is time, we'll have some Q&A. So to get started real quick, Graphically Speaking, we've been in business for over 35 years. We are a full service digital agency specializing in e-commerce development. We do both B2B and B2C, development, API connectivity, digital marketing, UX, and conversion rate optimization. We are recognized as Western Canada's largest e-commerce agency. We're a partnership with Shopify, with WooCommerce as a developer, and Magento as a certified development partner. So moving on, B2B commerce. The inherent differences, and there are a lot, but I'm trying to nutshell this into some major areas. So the buyers on B2B are obviously different. We're talking about purchasing agents, a purchasing department, generally speaking, a procurement team. Pricing structures for the products are often tiered. There's contract pricing. It's not as simple as B2C often. Sales cycles are typically longer, more complex, require further inputs. And often the products they're selling are sold as solutions. So there's a solution selling aspect often to the B2B portals and things that we make. Payments are on terms very often with clients. You've got agreements for the year, for the quarter, etc. And then the tool sets. So B2B customers often require the ability to produce quotes, with the suppliers. They prefer bulk ordering or ordering in vast quantities and reordering ability. So a full account history of what they've ordered and where they would like to go to next. Shopify Plus. In a nutshell, Shopify Plus is designed for high volume and enterprise level businesses, offering advanced features to support complex B2B and B2C e-commerce operations. So what does that mean? I mean, it is a SaaS platform, software as a service, you pay. It's fully hosted and controlled by Shopify. It's positioned for high growth merchants, people who are seeking a continuous growth in their markets and their multi-channel approach. It provides SaaS as a monthly service fee, so you're paying into it as a subscription based, and there's no transaction fees to the Shopify Plus CMS if you're using Shopify payments. There's also, variable apps and integration costs that may occur, but outside of those, customizations that are unique to yourself, in a nutshell, it's very predictable SaaS solution and cost. So some key features to Shopify Plus. And as again, I mentioned earlier, Graphically Speaking, we do a lot of Magento, a lot of Shopify, and a lot of WooCommerce. And for us, there's inherent differences between them. Today, obviously, I'm going to focus on Shopify Plus. And so key features is customizable and throughout the checkout, which is very important if your B2B supply chain, management of the supply chain, selling of the supply is going to be unique for your target audiences. There's going to be inherent differences in the checkout process that are going to be particular to either your industry or your organization. Shopify Plus supports a multi-store management, so one admin and up to 10 stores, the 1+9, for you to be able to produce different e-commerce storefronts to different marketplaces. Comes out of the box with some advanced reporting and analytics. Shopify Plus POS Pro is also included with Shopify Plus. So full-on POS integration. And again, that real-time connectivity to data. We'll talk a little bit more about that a little later. They provide complex workflow automation. So often we get approached by organizations who are looking to streamline their workflow and reduce costs. And that's a major component in building out a new e-commerce platform. So with a complex workflow and automation to that workflow, you can certainly see some benefits in a reduction of costs, and which in turn often means a better self-service attitude towards your customers. Event-based automation, so you can trigger activities. You can have a customer who has a particular ceiling to their credit. At $10,000 and above, it triggers an automatic workflow opportunity for the sales manager to become involved, for a service manager to assist in the sales itself. So you can build these event-based automated features and functions, triggers, and communications. And with SaaS, they provide the 24/7 support, and they do have a really great success program. Their success managers are really there to see you succeed. So there'll be people you'll be speaking with ongoing and post-launch. So some scalability features with Shopify Plus. It is cloud-based. They own their own servers, so they have server clusters running Docker with Rails. This is all enhanced by AWS features, and AWS has become quite a good platform. And the features from AWS are being utilized throughout all different types of infrastructures. They produce a 99.9% uptime because they have a really good 24/7 support. Volume-wise, so there are some tests that certain merchants have done. There's been some pop-up events and Black Friday events, so they're really able to test their servers. And they're toting 500,000 hits per minute and 80,000 requests per second at a peak. There are ways to mitigate that if that is a true concern for you. If you pre-think that through, and 1,000 transactions per minute. So obviously it depends on the level of and complexity of the transaction, but that is a really incredible number to be able to process. They're also very scalable. So I mentioned earlier there was the ability for 10 stores. So having the ability for 10 stores, you can go across the globe with different offerings, or even just a different perception and look and feel to your offering. And the last thing is the multis. We talk about the multis as multi-currency, multi-language, multi-price sheet, multi-customer segmentation. So Shopify Plus has a multis scenario built into its platform for multi-language, multi-currency, which again allows you to reach that global target in various different forms. The wholesale and B2B channels, the way Shopify Plus works with wholesale, and they do have a complete wholesale approach to their B2B module within Shopify Plus. So they do have a focus on multiple pricing and catalogs, which is common. Most of our clients, in fact, I don't know of a single B2B customer that we currently are working with or have worked with that has a single price list, one size fits all. So that can actually be defined as a price list per customer or per segment. If we're talking about agreements, term agreements, purchasing agreements, they may be very specific and unique to every individual customer, right? So that's available. They have tailored shopping, good UX and unique UX throughout different targets within the same cart itself. So you can provide a different experience to different segmented customers within the e-com channel, which again helps with that conversion rate. And I mentioned earlier, their tiered discounts, really popular in the B2B wholesale manufacturing and distribution. So you need to have the ability for people to buy larger quantities at a discount rate, flexible terms, again, by customer or by segment, and again, unique order flows. In certain cases, there might be an approval process, and there might be a quality control process or a technical advisory process involved with a sale to a B2B customer. That multi-channel sales, they're also very effective. They have the integrations currently out of the box with Amazon, eBay social networks for selling, and various others. And they're continuously growing that marketplace for the multi-channel. And the biggest key aspect to a value of a SaaS service like this is that single source of truth. We're maintaining a single repository for product data. This is your inventory management controls. This is your pricing controls, even your product content attributes. So maintaining a source of control, data syncs across the entire network with all of your channels and your APIs through your backend systems. So I think we're going to get into that right now. So the next API and integrations capabilities, right? They have a whole team that's dedicated to focusing on API integrations, because as the world now has recovering from COVID, there was a major shift to start putting everything online. And rather than duplicating things like your inventory, your pricing, or getting pricing mixed up between an online price versus a store price, the hunt for a direct source of truth, continued and grew quite rapidly after the COVID. And so what we've got with APIs in Shopify Plus is a good comprehensive set of REST GraphQL APIs. They can handle both read and write, so they're push and pull API technology, so it's very flexible. Again, the goal being getting to that source of truth and using the Shopify Plus as a display window. Right. They have an ERP program where they're building out direct ERPs to some of the major ERP systems out there. Microsoft Dynamics 365 we're working on right now, Oracle, NetSuite, SAP, Acumatica. There's numbers of others. And again, that team is growing that connectivity, so you're not having to customize an API approach. They also offer the software developer kit, if you are building a custom API, which is often the case when the backend system isn't one of the top ones that is being connected to. It's a slightly industry-specific and unique ERP or CRM. So you've got the SDK available to start building towards it. As I mentioned earlier, it's bi-directional. So that's incredibly important for workflows, your orders, your credit and order on account, verifications through credit. That needs to happen in real time. A lot of the customers from a B2B perspective are working after hours. So they require access to the latest price list that they have, the terms that they have, the credit they have outstanding, the ability to pay off accounts payable, and again, inventory, right? They're looking to purchase and set up an order or a quote for the next day, week, month, and quarter, and they're possibly doing this during off hours. So that bi-directional sync of data, maintaining that source of truth, incredibly important. And they're also supporting headless commerce for those who are involved with having the separation of both your display and your backend systems through various programs and CMSs. So that support of headless, very important for that sort of separation and difference of a user experience. Next is themes and customization. So out of the box, there is a gazillion themes to choose from. Obviously, there's a majority of B2C themes out there, and that's how Shopify really got their foothold, and a lot of advanced B2C. There are B2B themes and premium themes, and these are very much focused on a segmented target audience approach. So they're obviously going to have the same standards as a partner for Shopify that they would for B2C when it comes to being optimized for speed and performance. And that is critical. You can have the most wonderful theme that matches your B2B requirements 90% of the way, which is high. But if you did, and it wasn't fast, or it wasn't optimized in the sense that it could render your data, render your client accounts and access quickly, that's a problem. And design goes out the window, right? They maintain these omni-channel approaches. Again, we spoke a little bit about the multiple stores, but if you're doing mobile or mobile first, you're doing a social event, you're doing some quick pop-ups from segmented target groups for segmented products and categories, you want an omni-channel consistency across the board. And there's no limit to the catalog size. We often are, concerned in certain CMS tools with, tens of thousands or 100,000 products and SKUs. If you think about a configurable or a variable product, one product may have a total of 500 different possible variable outcomes to it. And if you have 10,000 of those types of products, you can see you're starting to get some high numbers in your catalog. So maintaining this flexibility of a variable or a customizable product with an unlimited capacity in your catalog size is also very key. And I mentioned the support 24/7. You have access to that support to get you through any kind of hiccups, get you through downtimes or areas of latency or areas of a checkout issue. On the theme customization side, they do have a framework that allows you to work with somebody who's not particularly technically trained in Liquid, but is able to still have a design eye to do a drag and drop. On the store framework, you're able to design templates and pages using the drag and drop features out of the CMS. Very helpful for those who haven't really been trained technically. Sorry, we just missed last step there. It was the Liquid. Real quick, we're just going to touch on the language itself. Sorry. Yeah, CSS, JavaScript, JSON templates. So all available through the theme editor. So what I'm trying to get at is an overall understanding of working within the CMS is going to be very beneficial. It's going to save you time, frustration, energy, and costs. If you work within the framework, within the goalposts, I'd like to say, with Shopify. As long as you're using premium theme, you're focused in on using the drag and drop methodologies through the framework, or you're dealing within their own particular templates and you're adjusting things for your branding. Those things maintain the speed and the optimization of the site. Thanks. Mobile, very specifically, more often we are getting asked to design mobile first, right? And that is a way for many, even B2B operations, because they're dealing with their customers who are out often in the field. They're on site, they're at warehouses, they're mostly on mobile. Everyone has their mobile with them, and remote access to mobile is now becoming, better and better. The quality of data transfers in remote regions is becoming better. And so mobile first is a very common theme in 25, and I expect it to grow exponentially in 26 as well. All designed themes on their partner programs are responsive. They're all intended to be, again, specially utilized for the Shopify system platform for speed and optimization in its actual workflow. And they have the POS Pro, again, focused on a very multi-channel approach, optimized, even an app for their POS. They're using AMP, the accelerated mobile page from Google content delivery methodology. So providing that methodology gives Google what they want, and Google's trying to do what they can to give the customers what they want. So it's a bit of a win-win. And headless, as I mentioned, is also available for mobile and mobile app development. Shopify Plus admin. So the interface is pretty straightforward. If you've come across different interfaces and you've worked through a Salesforce interface, admin interface, or Oracle or SAP, the Epicor system, even Magento or WordPress, you'll recognize immediately some of the simplicity that Shopify's put into their admin panel. For the B2B on the Shopify Plus, they've got a dedicated B2B dashboard. Brilliant. So custom pricing, quote generation, scalable multi-store support. I'm going to run through these because I recognize we're running really quick here out of time. So all of those things are readily available, easily trained, advanced inventory management for that multi-warehouse scenario is very key, important. As well as role-based permission. So you can have different teams involved with different areas of admin within the site. Even within category and catalog separation, there might be 3 divisions and they don't talk to each other. The admin could easily be separated across categories of products or customer segments. On the marketplace side, so Shopify Plus has a huge app marketplace, constantly growing. Over 8,000 Shopify Plus apps currently, again, less for the B2B specific, but you'll find more and more growing. Now, it needs to be said that Shopify Plus out of the box has its limitations if you're not to use any app, but I have never met a Shopify Plus customer who has not used a single app. So the idea is the groundwork, the structure, the foundation of your system being Shopify Plus is great. It's solid. Then you start adding those apps that make your operations very specific and make your operations streamlined to your current way of doing business. Always work with a certified developer if you're looking for a Shopify Plus app. Focus on those that have got the highest, volume of service, customer support 24/7 on the partner side, and things will go well. To the pros in Shopify Plus, real quick: fast deployment, scalable and secure because it is SaaS and they control it. They have advanced API integration, and the word advanced, I'll get back to that as to why I say the word advanced. It is advanced, but it also means it's quite technical. They have a large app ecosystem, as I mentioned, over 8,000 apps, lots of partners, 65 partners, and growing, constantly growing. That customizable piece is something to pay attention with because your or operations, your organization will not fit one-to-one in line with everything or anything from the Shopify Plus catalog, themes, apps, etc. There will need to be a form of customization or adjustments curtailed specifically for your organization. The multi-channel selling approach, if you have multiple offerings or markets that you want to present yourself to, or a POS system, a mobile system, a couple of B2Bs and a B2C, Shopify Plus can fit the bill. And with that, you have predictable costs. So your monthly fees are licensed fees, and they are predictable, so you know what you're getting into from the beginning. Some of the cons of Shopify Plus that we've run into, it does have some limited native built-in B2B features. So as I mentioned, Shopify Plus apps or with apps is the end solution. Out of the box, the B2B features that Shopify Plus comes with are very robust. It's just they're not very expansive and specific for a lot of the unique B2B situations that we run into. Having apps means you're app dependent. And there is a level of dependency that is acceptable, but the dependency starts to wane as you increase the quantity of apps. As you can imagine, too many apps can cause conflicts, and some apps, cross over each other. So in a checkout, you could have multiple apps producing functionality or UX throughout your checkout process, and there will be overlap. You have to ensure that there's no conflicts that will disable the cart or have some problems from a UX perspective. It's not open source, so there is a learning curve for those who are technically interested. There is a higher entry cost initially if you are moving from a lesser CMS or a smaller operation. You're now ready to move into this multi-channel enterprise level of system and e-com. Then it may seem like a higher entry level cost, but over time it has been found to be quite cost effective with the value that you're getting. There are customizations on the B2B side. There are customizations to Shopify Plus in general. I mentioned those goalposts. Play well within the goalposts, and the customization will be limited and minimized, and so will your risk and your cost, right? The complex, so I mentioned earlier, advanced APIs. So they do have the ability and the SDKs for advanced APIs, but they are complex. They're not for the faint of heart. And the entire ecosystem, meaning all the data, your products, your customers, your price lists, these are not transferable. So if you're looking at having Shopify Plus, or you've been running Shopify Plus and you want to bounce to it, you've now moved on to a more advanced form of enterprise environment, your sales are going through the roof, consider the non-transferability of the data, the content within that Shopify Plus ecosystem. So real quick, best fit opportunities. These are just some. And if you find yourself looking at the system and go, doesn't apply across the board, then the system doesn't apply. But if you find yourself saying 2 or 3 or 4 of these apply, and there are others, I just picked a few, this could be a place for you to start looking into. So mid-market to enterprise level. If you're looking at rapid deployment and ease of admin use, you don't have a technical team, you've not had a team involved with the e-com admin for any length of time, this is possibly a good fit. Custom, but not too custom. right? You're not like the one fish in the barrel that's orange while everybody else is, the color of fish, whatever that might be. But simply not too custom. Again, find yourself within the goalposts. The multi-channel selling. If you are already on Amazon or you are planning on being on Amazon and you're looking at social and there's markets to be tapped there, there's good opportunities for Shopify Plus. And you have any of the multi-language, mentioned multi-warehouse, multi-currency, they have a good fit for that. Also, because of their SaaS environment, you do not require a large IT resource. So no large IT teams needed to help build this with you because the Shopify team does a great job of that already. And I think that's about it. I think we have some next steps, Adam, real quick here. If you're in the process or will be in the process of evaluating an e-commerce platform for your B2B business, determine the level of your B2B selling complexity. Walk through it on a piece of paper in the boardroom with Post-it notes. This start to finish, a customer is interested in us. Walk through the selling process all the way through fulfillment and post. Visualize your B2B workflows. Now, it's one thing to have workflows in your office place behind firewalls or your custom built backend systems or your warehouses for that matter. It's another thing to try to visualize those online. And how would that work from a customer's perspective, as well as your fulfillment, your accounting departments, etc. Visualize those online, write those out. Prioritize your requirements and gaps. You're never going to find a CMS that's 100% perfect. You're going to have to give up some to take something else. So prioritize. What are those requirements? What are the top 3, 15, whatever that might be? And currently, what are your top gaps? And if you're interested in speaking with Graphically Speaking about any of these applications, Shopify Plus, as I mentioned, as a partner, we'd be more than happy to sit down with you and just walk through basic testing of where you're at and what would maybe be a best fit for you. So do we have time for any questions, Adam? Oh, I see we're currently out of time. So if you have questions, please get in touch with us. You can go to our site. You can check out our portfolio. You can review the work that we do, the service offering that we have. Send us an email, give us a call, and we'd love to help you. And again, thank you for taking time out of your day to join us today. Look forward to speaking with you guys next time. Take care. Have a great day.